Well, hello everybody and welcome back to Lisa's Coloring Corner. Arteza reached out to me and asked if I would like to review their new 120 set of their watercolor pencils. So let's take a look at these. It says 120 unique colors, artist quality, 4mm lead, break resistant, blendable, water soluble, and acid free. And this tin has the fish on the front, whereas can't remember what the expert pencils themselves has on their tin, but they again come in this nice tin. And in the lid, like their new 120 set of their colored pencils, it has a listing of all of the colors, which is very, very nice. But again, anything that is printed, whether it be paper or whether it be on tin, is not necessarily true to color. So I do recommend always swatching out your coloring supplies. So let's take a look at the pencils themselves. I have not looked at these yet. I just unboxed them off camera. So let's take a red. Now right off the bat, the difference that you're going to notice between these pencils, these watercolor pencils, and their standard, their regular pencils, is these are hexagonal shape, whereas their other regular colored pencils are round. And these also have the paintbrush logo on here so that you know these are watercolor pencils. Other than that, they're very, very similar to their standard colored pencils. We have the color name on here, and then a diagonal slash, and then the color number, diagonal slash, and then their light fast rating. This particular pencil, it has a 2. They come in plus signs. Sometimes you'll see asterisks. Arteza puts plus signs that relate to their light fast rating. I did have a question in one of my videos. What is light fast? You know, what does that mean? Now, the majority of us probably know, but maybe not everybody knows. The light fast rating really doesn't apply too much to us standard colorists, especially those of us who just leave our finished pictures in our coloring books, which is all I ever do. So this light fast rating means nothing to me. That is more geared towards artists who do professional commission work that they sell and gets hung up on the wall, or you may possibly have a picture that you like a lot. You take it out of your coloring book and you frame it and you do put it on your wall, especially if the sun comes in a window and hits that particular picture. This light fast rating is going to indicate how long that color is going to last and stay bright and vibrant in that particular picture. So the higher the light fast rating, the longer that color is going to remain true and not fade in that particular picture. So like I said, for most of us colorists, that light fast rating is not going to mean a hill of beans to us. But it's nice that they do provide light fast ratings. Many of the colored pencils, especially the higher end pencils, all provide that light fast rating because artists use the colored pencils. So they kind of like to know the light fast ratings. But anyhow, again, for those of you that didn't know what that meant, that's what that means. And then we have a silver band around the end. Like their colored pencils, we do have the end cap finished off and not open, which I like. Makes it look more like a higher end pencil. They do come pre-sharpened, and like their standard wax-based pencils, they do come with a blunt end. So if you are going to start coloring with these and you need to get in tighter spaces, you may want to go ahead and sharpen them to more of a point. I believe they come with a blunt tip just to protect that tip during shipping. So I guess that explains the pencils themselves. Now again, like their other colored pencils, they come in these red plastic trays, which, as we are all familiar with, are the flimsy plastic trays. Even though they have these finger grips in the tray, they're hard to get out, and the farther you get down into the tin, the harder they are to get out. I am going to take these all out. If you look at the vibrancy of these colors, though, look at this tray. Isn't that gorgeous? Ooh. And here too, ooh, the purples. Beautiful. Now, I am assuming that this is kind of a companion set to their wax-based pencils, the new 120 set that they came out with. So, I printed off a chart that is similar to their other chart that I used when I swatched out their new 120 set of their regular expert pencils. So I left all the numbers and the color names the same, and fingers crossed they will coordinate. I am assuming they will. But what I'm going to do is, oh, and here's the rest of the purples. Let's get out the bottom tray too, and hopefully I'll do this without spilling them. So there are 5 trays of colored pencils in this set. I previously did a review of their new colored pencil case. Beautiful, beautiful. There are 2 of them. This one's called Paint Splatter. The other one is black and white. I can't remember the name of it. I'm going to link everything down below in the description. They are Arteza affiliate links. So any purchase that you make through those links, I get a little bit of a kickback at no extra cost to you. And right now, Arteza is running a special on their website. I'm not sure how long this special is going to run. And of course, they always have free shipping on their site. But the 120 set of the colored pencils right now is 26% off. They are $59.49. These watercolored pencils are 24% off right now, and they are $67.99. Now, if you do want these colored these watercolored pencils, be careful when you order them, because they also have watercolor pencils that come in a set of 48, and they come in a cardboard tube, and they're called premium watercolored pencils, not the expert colored pencils. And they're just a lower grade. Not that they're bad, but they're just a little bit lower grade than what these expert watercolor pencils are. So just be aware that Arteza has 2 different kinds of watercolor pencils. So these come in the tin. The premium ones come in that cardboard tube. So depending on what you want to go for, and of course the premium set of 48 is a little bit lower cost than what these are because of the little bit lower quality. So I just wanted to make you aware of that so that you didn't accidentally order the wrong set and then be disappointed. Okay, so with getting that out of the way, all of these pencils and watercolor pencils do come in various sets, and again, I will link them all down below in case you want to buy say a lower count set to see if you like them before moving up to the 120 set. They do come in sets of 48, 72, which used to be their highest set, and now they came out with the 120 set of both the pencils and the watercolor pencils. So okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I am going to put these pencils in order according to the color chart, and I am going to put them all in this Arteza pencil case, and then we are going to swatch them all out, and I will have them in the correct order. So I'm going to pause right here. I'm going to get all the colored pencils, watercolor pencils, in here and I will be right back. Okay, I am back. Shoo, that took a little bit. So here is the pages that I printed out to go ahead and swatch on. Excuse me. And yes, indeed, the colors are all the same as the Expert colored pencils. So I do have them in order. Now the watercolor paper that I like to use is this. It's not the highest quality, but it is still relatively good watercolor paper. It's called Paint, and it is by Design. Is it Ideation or Ideation by Creative Arts. The reason why I like this, the color blends relatively well on it, but it is a lighter watercolor paper. It's medium weight, 8.5 by 11, 67 pound. And so it will go through almost any printer out there. I can't guarantee every printer, but I will link this down below also. If you wanted to go ahead and try it, you get 50 sheets in here, and I can't remember the cost on it. I don't think it was that much though. But yeah, it is relatively thin paper, as you can see, but yet it works pretty well for watercolor mediums. So this is what I'm going to use for swatching out. Let's put that one aside. And I have all the watercolor pencils in order, and what I discovered is I think this colored pencil case was designed not for 3 pencils in each, but for 2, because the 120 set fit in here almost perfectly with just a couple of loops left over. So I think they intended this pencil case to not have 3 in each loop. I may be mistaken, because 3 will fit in here like many of the other pencil cases that have the larger loops. 3 will fit in here. They are quite a bit snugger though, and a little bit harder to get out than if you only put 2 in. And because there's enough room for all 120, this is what I opted to do. And I only left black by itself so that I could have the metallics separate from all the other pencils. And even having one colored pencil in here, they're still in here really snug. It's not going to go anywhere. So these elastic loops are really nice and snug against the pencils. You're not going to have to worry about your pencil slipping out anywhere and falling onto the floor, which, as we all know, is a big no-no. So yeah, they fit in here really nice. Is there not a more gorgeous book in the world? Look at that. So beautiful. So anyhow, let's get going on with the swatching. I was going to swatch these ahead on my own, but I got so many comments from you guys that say that you really like my swatching videos. So I opted to do this on camera. So let me get this one over here. Now I do like this Caran d'Ache water brush. And the reason for that is instead of a brush, a real brush, it has a felt tip pen. Felt tip, I should say. So to me, I have more control with this than with your real brush, like these Derwents, you know, that spread out. I have not worked with this Caran d'Ache in quite a while though, so there is still water in it. So we'll see if it still works. And this works a little bit differently than the Derwents, where this one you suck up the water by pulling this out. So if anybody's in, maybe I'll go ahead and link this down below. I sure hope I remember to link all this stuff. I'll have to listen back to this video and say, oh yeah, I was going to link that. Oh yeah, I was going to link that. Okay, without further ado, let's get going. Now, of course, this first one, let me get my paper towel up here, get everything situated. This first one, you're probably not well, I know you're not going to be able to see because it's white, but at least it'll let me know. Oh yeah, this should work. Okay. Let me zoom you guys in so you can see. Okay. And I don't know, do you guys want to be that close? Let's zoom out a little bit. That way I know I won't get off camera all the time. I've been known to do that. Okay, so let's put that one back. Now, I'm in the very first side, so like I said, I'm in the front cover, so like I said, it's in the pencil case review video, the front cover and the back cover, because there's only one zipper, it's a little bit harder to get the pencils in and out, so it may take me just a bit. Okay, let us see. Again, probably won't be able to see that one too much. Very, very light colors. Now we go on to Sapphire Yellow. Now, these colored pencils, even though they're watercolor, they lay down really nice all by themselves. So if you wanted the best of both worlds, where you can, let's say you can't afford both the watercolored pencils and the expert regular colored pencils, you could go ahead and just buy the watercolored pencils because these color great all on their own. I did have a comment from a subscriber who had the 72 set of the regular colored pencils, and they upgraded to the 120 set when they came out with the 120 set. The 72 set, for some reason, and this isn't the watercolored pencils, this is the regular colored pencils, the 72 set seemed to be water soluble. The pigment moved on the paper with the 72 set. However, they must have changed their formula a little bit because the 120 set is no longer water soluble at all. The color does not move with water anymore. So there is a difference between the 72 set of colored pencils and the 120 set. If you do have the 72 and you really like them, because you in that set have the best of both worlds, where you can just color with them and you can use them as watercolor, the same is not true with the 120 set. Okay, just FYI. Okie dokie. So Jasmine Yellow. Now, this swatching video may take a little bit longer because we are blending them out with water. And then we have a lemon yellow. Oh, these colors are so pretty. Now, many of these colors also coincide with their twine markers. So a lot of their sets have very similar colors, which is kind of nice. They kind of all work hand in hand. Here is Honey. Here is Sunflower Yellow. See, the pigment moves really well on this paper. And these colored pencils, for being watercolored pencils and I can't say super budget friendly, but a very middle of the road type of watercolor pencil, they are awesome. This is Tumeric, is it Tumeric Yellow? The pigment all moves, if that's the right term. You don't see any lines in, you know, from where you laid down the the pencil. You don't see the pencil strokes left over at all once they're activated, which is great. Usually you see that in your higher quality, more expensive watercolor pencils. But yeah, these blend out amazingly well. This is Tuscan Sun. And like I said, this isn't even the highest quality. Well, I shouldn't say that. It is actually very nice paper. I do like it. I know a lot of people use like the Strathmore and the, what's the other one? I keep thinking it's Caran d'Ache. Is it just Caran? Cairn? I don't know. Yellow ochre. I mean, there's a lot of watercolor papers out there. I have not tried Arteza's. They're supposed to have a great watercolor paper also. But I don't know if it is a heavier colored or watercolor paper that will not go through a printer. I'm almost suspecting so. Here is Peaches and Cream. I love the name of some of these colored pencils. They're just so cute. Especially the grays, you know, like elephant gray and koala gray. And then we have apricot or apricot, depending on how you pronounce it. And then we have Marmalade Orange. Now, this is just the order that I put these in. I still would like to rearrange some, but it's like, too bad. And I did arrange them in a little bit different order than what I used to. I no longer go strictly from light to dark. Like all the blues, light to dark, all the greens, light to dark. I will go light to dark within that color family. So, you know, the different types of blues, because we all know there's a lot of different blues. There's a lot of different greens. So you'll see when I swatch these out that they're a little bit different now. Like I said, there are some that should be switched around, but oh well. Here is orange. That previous one was pumpkin orange. See how that moves out? It's so nice, so pretty. And then we have a coral. Now I put the skin tones up here, and then I started going with the oranges and these kind of tones. Then we have a blood orange. Love that color. Okay, let's go into the other page now. It'll be a little bit easier to get out. No, I did that wrong. Orange coral, blood orange. Orange coral, okay. I did orange twice. I think I did a mistake right around here when I did swatch the regular pencils too. So this is blood orange. Much darker. Yeah, Lisa, leave it to you. Okay. And then we have vermilion. So let's cross that. Oh, okay, we can't. I want to cross that off just so we know that that is not the color of blood orange. All right. That was a vermilion. And then we go on to Venetian Red. Getting into all the pretty reds. I think I need some more water. And rose red. You can see how long that tip stayed wet before I had to squeeze any more water out. So that is fantastic. Okay, so there's rose red. And oops, Venetian, okay. And then we have a carmine red. And crimson red. Yeah, I love how these colors move. And a magenta. And cherry red. I like doing these swatching videos for you just so that you can get an idea of what colors are all included in a set, especially if you have like a smaller set like the 72. Is it worth it to you to upgrade to the 120? Spanish red. Or if you don't have any of them, would you like this larger set? And passion fruit red. Okay, we have garnet red, which is getting real dark, and it's verging on the brownish side, but I put it up here as a dark red instead. And we go into the pinks. We have pink Macaron. I did not realize Macaron and macaroon are two separate things. I thought there was only macaroon. I thought they forgot an O in there, but I heard differently. Salmon pink. Now, as you can see, that pink macaron is very, very light. It's probably even hard to see it on camera. Then we have peony pink. That's a pretty color. Okay, watermelon pink. Flamingo pink. Okay, let's turn our page. And we go to Fruit Punch. So we're getting into a little bit darker pinks. Get some more water here. And a plum purple. Of course, I love this color. And a fuchsia. Now, as I say in all of my swatching videos, if anybody is interested in any of my coloring charts, just feel free to email me, and I would be happy to send them out. Like I said, this is just the order that I put them in, and you can just switch them up however you want. They are MS Word documents, however, so you do need MS Word. Lilac. Lavender. I'm running out of water more often now. I don't know why. Okay, we did lavender. Oob purple. Why don't we work with the Derwent, because I know many of you use the Derwent water brushes. And I just grabbed number 2, which is the bigger tip, not the fine tip. Whoa, almost dropped it. Kind of flew right out of my hand. Okay. See, now to me, the other tip also moves it much better because you can put more pressure down on the paper. So yeah, like I said, I just really prefer the felt tip water brush, if you want to call it that. All right, that was Oob. And then we have Violet. And yeah, I just seem to have more control. But you can see it's still really, the pigment just melts, just, you know, like I said, like a higher quality. Or not higher quality necessarily, a more expensive, this one after Oob. Okay, there we go. You know, one of the more expensive watercolor pencils. Purple Iris. These are so pretty. So I'm going to go back to my Caran d'Ache. Another thing you can use with watercolor, whether pencils mainly, but I suppose you could use it for other watercolor mediums, is the Tombow Blender pen that comes with all your Tombow sets. works really good. I always use that like with ink tints. I have not worked a lot with watercolor pencils, but I may try it on these too. Because again, with that tip, you have so much control, and that's a finer felt tip than these. So you can get into smaller areas. I just think they work great for watercoloring. And then we have Amethyst Purple. Getting into the dark purples. And Eggplant Purple. Get some more water on here. Really seems to. Let me turn this a minute. Unless it needs fresh water in here. It's been, like I said, sitting for a while. I'll push it some more. Okay, let's try this. Then we have Burgundy. Right, I told you this is going to be a longer video. We're on column 2. Sorry if I lost some of you. Well, if I lost you, then you're not watching this, so. And here we have Wine Red, which is super duper dark. But very pretty. Then we're into the blues. And we have Periwinkle Blue. Make double sure my red is off. Seeing as how we're going into such a different color. That's a pretty light blue. And then we have a sky blue. Another pretty light blue. They're all pretty. And we have Robin Egg Blue. Let's get the right end. Oh my, excuse me. And we have Peacock Blue. Okay, we have Peacock Blue. And next we have Sapphire Blue. I use this color a lot in my toy markers. Well, a lot of these colors I do, between the Belba family and my Circle Mosaics. A lot of them colors get used. Blueberry Blue. Egyptian blue. Ultramarine blue. Ultramarine blue. And we have Mykonos blue. See, now this one I could have put up here to keep it with the color family. These I put like this to keep these with the color family. But, you know, these next ones maybe could have went up. I don't know. You know, it's so hard to determine an order. So it's like, good enough. You know, by the time I go through them a few times, you start going cross-eyed. Here's sea blue, getting into some of the darker blues. That is gorgeous. And Asian blue. Another beautiful blue. And we have indigo. Yeah, it really seemed to be, oh, there's some water. I normally do not have this kind of problem with this water brush. Okay, then we have Prussian blue. And finally in the blues we have a midnight blue. Okay, into the greens. Now I don't know why this one's called fluorescent yellow, because it definitely is not yellow. It is a very light, like chartreuse kind of green. Very much on the yellow side, but very much has a tint of green to it. Lime green. And we have pear green. I wasn't sure where in the world to stick this one. I was going to put it down by the olive greens, but it didn't really look right down there either. So it's like, we're going to stick it up here. And we have absinthe green. And we turn the page again. We're getting there, folks. We have spring green. We have matcha green. And we have apple green. Mint green. Love this color. This is in the toy markers too, and I love it. Turquoise. Shouldn't have clunked it down like that, should I have? Oops. And shamrock green. And then we have parakeet green. And spearmint green. Ocean blue. Now I did opt, this is one I really toyed with too. It's like, is there more blue in there? Is it more teal like with the greens? And I opted to put it down with the greens. I had it up by the blues, moved it back down. So yeah, not everybody would put it down here because it is real bluish too. So it could very well go up there like a deep turquoise. But then we do have deep teal. And so this is why I opted to put these two down here. And we have moss green, getting into some of the darker greens now. Olive green. I mean, look, all that pigment just melts and moves. I mean, I have the Albrecht door, and I don't know if they're really much better than this. Fern green. Sage green. Basil green. Emerald green. This is another one I use a lot in the toy markers. And spring green. greens is our forest green. And jungle green. Finally, in the greens is jade green, which is a very deep, rich green. Touch of blue to it. Isn't that pretty? Love that color. You know, now that I have these activated with the water, the more I am thinking, yes, they definitely belong up with the blues. Much more blue in them than green. But, oh well. Now we're into the browns. So, first up is camel brown. And the jade kind of got in here. And ginger. Now that could also be a darker orange. Earth red. You know, many of these could be, you know, like this one could be up in the reds. I just felt it looked better down with the browns. Again, some of these could go either or, you know, there's no right and wrong. Burnt ochre. Get some more water. Okay, and then rust orange. Now again, this could go up under the oranges, but it would be such a drastic contrast to the other oranges. So I just thought maybe it would belong better down in the browns. And then we have cinnamon. And I don't have the best eye for color either, so I am probably a bad one to make all these color charts and give them out to all of you, because you do the swatching and you're probably like, say, what? What's that color doing there? Here's raw sienna. Oh, come here, pencil case. And let's go on to the second page. About time, right? We have raw umber. Make sure I got the right one. Yep. Sienna Brown. Now again, I am recording these videos ahead of time. It is Sunday evening. Just so I have some content to go up next week during Christmas, because we're all really busy next week. So, but I still wanted to get some content up for you guys. I know I've kind of been slacking in that this week. Coyote Brown. I've just been so darn busy between Christmas and the grandkids. And yeah, still have a couple Christmas presents to wrap. Burnt umber. I'll go into all of that in my coloring chat. There's a whole story to that. Hazelnut brown. Darker browns now. Then finally into the grays we go. Cocoa brown. Then I think I'll pause again, and I'm going to go get the Arteza chart for the regular 120 set of colored pencils, and we're going to kind of compare the colors. Espresso brown, and we're going to see how much of a difference there is between the two sets, and you know, the difference when they are blended out with water. Kind of give you an idea, especially if you have the 120 set of the regular. Do you also want the companion set of the watercolor pencils, or do you need them? Dark chocolate brown. More water, please. More water. Okay, then we go on to the grays. Now, these first few are very, very light. So I'm not sure if you're going to see them on, I was going to say see them on TV. If you're going to see them on camera or not. Although, I have heard some of you do watch me on TV. That is a very scary thought. I was a little paranoid after I heard that the first two times, or a couple times. Mushroom gray. Like I said, you probably, well, you can see it a little bit. I keep shaking the camera. I'm sorry. I have it at a different angle when I do these swatch videos, and now I'm hitting my mic cord, and it is attached to my phone, and so it jiggles it. So I hope I'm not making you dizzy. Stone gray. And dolphin gray. And smoke gray. You know, it doesn't help that I have the whole case of pencils over here, and so then I'm reaching over there and it pulls on my mic cord, so that is probably why I am jiggling you guys. Okay. We have next steel gray. And cloudy gray. Elephant gray. This is where some of the cute names come into play. Elephant and koala. And here is the koala gray. Concrete Gray. Oops. Pewter Gray. I'm going to be curious to see how the metallic pencils do, because they were just gorgeous in the regular colored pencil. So I'm, yeah, real curious to see what they do in the watercolor pencils. Shadow Gray. Ash Black. Now we're getting in the real dark grays. Charcoal Gray. There's almost a bluish tint to it. That really reminds me of Payne's Gray in the Prismacolor. Okay, now we're in the back cover, so again, a little harder to get out. Storm Gray. Or is it this one that, I can't remember now. There's one of them that reminded me of Payne's Gray. Maybe it's that one, because that one's much more blue. That one's green. Yeah, must be Storm Gray. And then we have Onyx Black. So we're almost to the metallics. And then Noir or Black. Okay, let's blend this out really well, or clean it off really well. Okay, let's start with the metallics. So we first have the Unicorn Purple. Isn't that a cute name? And just like the regular colored pencils, these lay down great without even being activated. Now I'm curious to see if there is a metallic shine to them. It's hard to tell. I'm going to have to wait until it dries, because of course right now it looks like there is the reflection of the water. We'll see. Beautiful dreamy blue. But even these metallics, look how they blend out. Gorgeous. Then we have silver. And we have gold. Silver and gold. Appropriate for Christmas. Comment below if you know what Christmas show that's from. And finally we have copper. We have made it to the end. This is a pretty color too. I always did like copper. All right, let me clean this pen off real good. Get the cover back on. Put copper away. Okay. Now, Okay, the metallics aren't real dry yet, so I think I'm going to hold off. Let's look at all of the colors. Matter of fact, while that is drying, I am going to go and grab my Arteza Expert colored pencils that coincide with the watercolor pencils. So I will be right back. Alrighty, I am back. First of all, let's take a look at these metallics. There is, I'll zoom you back in, there is a shimmer to them. I don't know if it's showing up on camera or not. It's definitely not as shiny and metallic once they are activated with water. And you can probably see that on camera. Much shinier over here where it's not activated versus where it's activated. Because even though these are the watercolor pencils, they are very nice and shiny. Just like, let me get the color chart from the regular pencils. Let me take this out of the plastic so it doesn't shine so much. Because, yeah, these really shine, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to capture that. There we kind of go. But there we go. But yeah, see how shiny those metallics are. They're just gorgeous. And it does look like even the watercolor pencils are very shimmery. There we go. Before they're activated. After, like I said, they're activated, I can see a little bit, but not much. There's a little bit of a shimmer to them, but not a lot. But they still blend out very nicely. So let's go ahead. Let's look at the colors because they are identical. Let me zoom you back out a little bit here. They are identical. So we can see that, you know, if we don't even blend them out with water, they look identical. You know, you could really color with these watercolor pencils and probably blend and whatnot. Maybe not quite as well as the regular colored pencils, and I keep calling them regular colored pencils, but you know what I mean. The non-watercolor pencils, is that what I should say? But yes, really, really nice. If you know, if you look through, and I know we're just kind of skimming it, but even like these dark reds, Spanish, passion fruit, and garnet. And then we start with light pinks. You know, they're all, you know, very, very similar. Because I'm sure they use some of the same pigments, or I should say all of the same pigments throughout both sets. It's just that the watercolor sets, you know, uses a different formula. So again, very, very, you know, look how vibrant these are, even, you know, when they're activated even. Those are just gorgeous. All the greens. See, and when I did the, let me push you up here. You know, when I did this non-watercolor pencil chart, you know, there again, I was debating up there, but then they had the green tinge. So yeah, oh well. We come down to the browns. And then we have the rest of the browns and into the grays. Yes, they match up beautifully. So, which, you know, we kind of expected. I just thought it would be nice to kind of see them side by side and, you know, see when they're activated with water versus the non-watercolor pencils. So there you have it. I think they're gorgeous. I cannot believe how well they activate with water. Arteza, you did it again. All of their products, and it's not just because they send these to me for a review, believe me. I do give honest reviews whenever I get something for review. But their products are just so great, and because the prices aren't as high as your premium pencils, your top of the line pencils, you know, these cost like half the amount, if not more, and yet they perform just as well. Like I said, the Elbrick Durer, I don't think really perform any better than these. So yeah, in my opinion, these are fantastic. Thank you again, Arteza, for sending me both the watercolor pencils and this beautiful pencil case. Love it, love it, love it. So again, I will leave links to everything I have mentioned throughout this video, and yeah, I'm going to have to go back and play through it just to see what I'm all supposed to link in here. I thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed all of the swatching. I know it got to be a little bit of a longer video because of having to activate each color, but again, I heard from many of you that you like the swatching videos, so this one's for you. So if you like this video, please give it that thumbs up. Subscribe if you are new to my channel. Hit that notification bell so you know when I put out new videos. I hope everybody's having a fantastic week, and as always, happy coloring. Bye guys.